Hello students, I am Dr. Manju Bala Yadav, Associate Professor in Chemistry, Government College कोटा। आज हम MSc Chemistry सेमेस्टर 4 में जो हमारा केमिकल काइनेटिक्स पेपर है फिजिकल स्पेशल का, उसका फर्स्ट यूनिट शुरू कर रहे हैं अबाउट द एटमॉस्फेयर, structure and composition of the atmosphere. So students, we will see what is the composition of the atmosphere. We say atmosphere, it acts as a compressible fluid which is tied to the earth by gravitation as a receptor of solar energy and a thermal reservoir. It constitutes the working fluid of a heat engine that transports and redistributes matter and energy over the entire globe. Earth's atmosphere is a thin layer of gas which is held around the surface by gravity. Students, 90% of the atmosphere's mass is within 15 km of the Earth's surface. And we know the Earth's radius is about 6400 kilometers, and atmosphere is like a layer of paint on a basketball. So the important point is that the atmosphere, which is many kilometers around, but only 15 kilometer of the Earth's surface, the main atmospheric part is the 15 kilometer part, and it constitutes the 90% of the atmosphere's mass. Now, what is the importance of atmosphere? So we say that it protects the life on Earth by absorbing ultraviolet solar radiation, warming the surface through heat retention, that is a greenhouse effect, and reducing the temperature extremes between the day and night, that is a diurnal temperature variation. So we say that the existence on Earth, it is due to the atmosphere only, because if the atmosphere was not there, then the sun's radiations, the harmful ultraviolet radiations and the extreme heat of the sun, it would have reached the Earth, and so survival on the Earth would have been very difficult or mostly impossible. So the atmosphere, it protects the life by absorbing the ultraviolet solar radiation and warming the surface through heat retention. Now if we see the mass of the atmosphere, it is about 5.15 into 10 to the 18 kg. That is 3/4 of which is within about 11 kilometers of the surface. And the Earth's atmosphere is characterized by variations of temperature and pressure with height. In fact, the variation of the average temperature profile with altitude is the basis for distinguishing the layers of the atmosphere. In the next slide, in the next video, we will study about the structure of the atmosphere, in which we will study about the different layers in which the atmosphere is distributed, and we will study the average temperature profile with altitude, which forms the basis of distinguishing the layers of the atmosphere. Now students, if we see the concentration of gases in normal dry air, that is if we study the composition of the atmosphere, we see that nitrogen, it constitutes 78% of the total जो air है उसका 78% जो है that is nitrogen, 21% is oxygen and 0.93% it is argon. So this constitutes 99.9% of the total gases of the total composition, and only 0.1% it is constituted by the remaining gases like CO2, neon, helium, methane, krypton, nitrous oxide, hydrogen, xenon, nitrogen dioxide and ozone. Now if we see what are the major constituents of the atmosphere, as we have said before that 99.9% of the total atmosphere, it is composed of nitrogen, oxygen and argon. Nitrogen is 78% of air by volume, oxygen 21% and argon is 0.9%. So we see that below a height of about 86 kilometers, these three main gaseous elements, they account for 99.9% of the total atmosphere. Now if we study the minor constituents of the atmosphere, which is the remaining 0.1% of the atmosphere, it includes the water vapor, carbon dioxide, ozone, methane, various oxides of nitrogen, neon and helium. They are called the trace gases because they exist in small amounts. Now, first we see water vapor. Water vapor, it can be as high as 2 to 3% of the gaseous portion of the atmosphere in a warm ground fog. And we know water, that is essential to all life, in the lowest level of the atmosphere is in various forms, that is a vapor form, liquid form and solid form, and it creates the weather features like clouds, rain, snow, ice and fog. Water vapor nearly about 3% at the surface to almost nothing high up, depending on weather, altitude and season. So, we find that the concentration of the water vapor, it depends on the weather, the altitude and the season. As a consequence of its properties and its abundance in the troposphere, water vapor concentration is one of the most important considerations in understanding the meteorology and the climate. So, the water vapor, that is the humidity, it is one of the important criteria to understand the climate and the meteorology of the climate. Now, if we see that in the stratosphere, the second layer of the atmosphere above the troposphere, it has water vapor only 4 to 6 parts per million by volume, that constitutes 0.004 to 0.006%. But still, this small concentration of water vapor, it plays a significant role in the energy budget of the atmosphere. As water vapor is radiatively active, absorbing and re-radiating the thermal or infrared energy from the surface, it plays a key role in the formation of particles in the stratosphere such as aerosols, and at very low temperature, special type of clouds known as the polar stratospheric clouds. So, water vapor in the stratosphere, though its concentration is very less, but it plays a key role in the formation of many particles in the stratosphere. Now, the next trace element or the trace gas is the methane gas. We know that methane, it the source regions for methane are feedlots, especially the cattle flatulence and the rice paddies, but these sources, they reside at the surface only. And if we see the methane at high altitudes, it must be mixed up from below. ऊपर हमारे हाई एल्टीट्यूड्स पे जो है वो नीचे से ही उसका सर्कुलेशन होगा. ये जो वर्टिकल मिक्सिंग ऑफ एयर इन द स्ट्रेटोस्फेयर, it is relatively slow, thus limiting the supply of methane there. But the reaction of methane with the hydroxyl radical OH, it reduces its concentration in the stratosphere below the global average of 1.7 parts per million volume of parts per million volume. So, global average of methane is 1.7 parts per million of a gas by volume, and in the stratosphere it is less than that. Now, the next trace element or gas is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, we know it plays a major role in deciding the global warming and other changes which are happening, and it is meteorologically it is a very important gas, as it is transparent to the incoming solar radiation but opaque to the outgoing terrestrial radiation. जो सन से हमारे पास एनर्जी आ रही है उसको वो एब्जॉर्ब कर लेता है, उस मतलब ट्रांसपेरेंट है, इट अलाउज, बट जब वो वापस जो है आउटगोइंग टेरेस्ट्रियल रेडिएशन जो है उसमें वो ओपेक है, यानी कि वो एब्जॉर्ब कर लेता है रेडिएशन को अर्थ के पास जो है रिटेन कर लेता है, जिसकी वजह से ग्लोबल वार्मिंग हो रही है. इट एब्जॉर्ब्स अ पार्ट ऑफ द टेरेस्ट्रियल रेडिएशन एंड रिफ्लेक्ट्स बैक सम पार्ट ऑफ इट टुवर्ड्स द अर्थ सरफेस. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इज लार्जली रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट. तो हम जो कहते हैं कि अर्थ का टेम्परेचर जो है इंक्रीज़ हो रहा है, गर्मी बहुत बढ़ रही है, क्योंकि CO2 का जो कंटेंट है वो बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ रहा है, और हमें पता है कि दिस इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ द बर्निंग ऑफ फॉसिल फ्यूल्स, द वेरियस इंडस्ट्रीज़ एंड अदर vehicular sources that are emitting and increasing the temperature of the earth. That is the main reason for global warming. Now, if we see ozone, though it is very less in percentage, if we see the total percentage of the gases in the atmosphere, it is very small amount, but it plays a major role in it plays because it blocks the harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun which is reaching the surface. अगर ओजोन नहीं होगा तो हमारे पास जो अल्ट्रावायलेट रेडिएशंस हार्मफुल हैं वो सन की हमारे अर्थ के ऊपर आएंगे और प्रॉब्लम्स उससे बहुत ज़्यादा इंक्रीज़ होंगी. अभी भी हम जैसे कहते हैं कि कुछ रीजन्स में ओजोन जो है होल्स हो गए हैं, जहाँ से ओजोन जो है वो आने लगी है, जिसकी वजह से जो है स्किन कैंसर्स और डिफरेंट प्रॉब्लम्स जो हैं वो ओरिजिनेट हो गई हैं. तो ओजोन का फॉर्मेशन जो है इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. So ozone absorbs the harmful UV radiation from the sun in 200 to 300 nanometer wavelength range, and in doing so ozone is responsible for life as we know it. Ozone forms 10 to 40 kilometers above the ground in a region where intense UV radiation from the sun breaks apart the diatomic oxygen molecule O2. ओजोन का जो फॉर्मेशन है वो 10 to 40 किलोमीटर्स अबव द ग्राउंड में है, जहाँ पे कि जो हमारी इंटेंस यूवी रेडिएशन सन की आ रही है वो हमारा जो डायटोमिक ऑक्सीजन मॉलिक्यूल है उसको ब्रेक कर देता है, और एब्जॉर्प्शन जो सोलर रेडिएशन का है इट अकर्स इन द स्ट्रेटोस्फेयर कॉजिंग इट टू बी वार्मर देन इट वुड बी अदरवाइज बी. तो टेम्परेचर अगर हम देखते हैं तो ट्रोपोस्फेयर में वी विल फाइंड द टेम्परेचर इट डिक्रीजेस, बट व्हेन वी सी द टेम्परेचर in the stratosphere it increases with height, it increases with altitude. So it is because of the ozone layer that the temperature rise with height, giving rise to structure of the stratosphere. It is contrasted with the troposphere. If we see in this diagram, in this figure, that how one diatomic oxygen molecule it is broken by the ultraviolet sunlight into two oxygen atoms, and then these two oxygen atoms they further combine with the oxygen molecule to form two ozone molecules. So the overall reaction is that three oxygen molecules they in the presence of sunlight gives two ozone molecules. So in addition to creating ozone, UV radiation also destroys it. Not only it is being manufactured, but it is also destroyed, as do a number of chemical reactions. So it is constantly being created and destroyed, and the amount of ozone at a given location remains relatively constant. So this amount of ozone, also known as the steady state concentration of ozone, peaks at roughly 5 into 10 to the 12 molecules per cubic centimeter at around 30 kilometer in altitude. Considerably natural variation in ozone occurs, however, due to transport. So we also should know that ozone it plays a dual role. There are two types of ozone, good ozone and bad ozone. In the stratosphere, it is a good ozone which is protecting us from the harmful ultraviolet radiations, but at the surface it is a bad ozone which is being created, and this refers to the burning of jungle, savanna and existing farmland. It is primarily due to the human agricultural needs, though lightning can also trigger wildlife fires that result in biomass burning related ozone creation. So these ozone sources which are at the surface, these are unhealthy. One form of photochemical smog also that arises from the industrial pollution which is reacting with sunlight. So these are produced by human activities. Okay. So these forms of ozone are unhealthy, while stratospheric ozone by blocking dangerous UV light is essential for life on Earth's surface. So we should know that how ozone it has been manufactured at the surface level by the human activities, and in the stratosphere that is the useful one which is depleting, the ozone layer is depleting. So we have to protect the earth from the ultraviolet radiation by reconstituting the ozone layer, that is by reducing the harmful chemicals which are generating it, that is the CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, which are mainly responsible for the depletion of the ozone. So we have to protect the earth from such CFCs. So this way we have studied the structure composition of the atmosphere, and students, tomorrow in the next class we will study about the structure of the atmosphere, the various layers of the atmosphere, and how the temperature variation occurs in these layers, and how what means different studies are being done and how we study them. Thank you.